What is going on, you guys? My name is Cody Thixton, and this is Interesting Podcast. I'm coming to you guys with episode 10 today on January 13th, 2023. Today we are going to be talking about Vince McMahon's return and who will buy WWE in 2023. We're going to discuss it all right now on Interesting Podcast. It's very, very interesting to look at the landscape of professional wrestling heading into 2023. 2022 was already an insane year for the land of professional wrestling as a whole. With Vince McMahon retiring in July of 2022, we had the fantastic WrestleMania. We got War Games at Survivor Series, the whole Cody Rhodes return, CM Punk leaving AEW. There was a lot of things that happened in 2022, and it's really crazy that it's not even halfway through January and we're getting now this rumor coming back that WWE has the plan to sell itself. Now there's a list of front runners that we'll get into later, but first let's talk about Vince McMahon's return. People are very, very upset at the fact that it is rumored that Vince McMahon is back as board of director, and they are really scared that Vince McMahon coming back, if he's going to try and get the head of creative position back from Triple H. And do I see that happening? Possibly, depending on who he sells to. So people are looking online at WWE as this, what's going around. They're saying like doom and gloom and whatnot, whatever. So Vince McMahon, obviously, with his retirement last year, everybody was really, really excited, especially to see Triple H be able to be put into the head of creative position after what he did for NXT. It only took Vince McMahon 6 months to unretire and want to come back. And I think it's because of the fact that it's not just about Vince McMahon wanting to sell WWE. He has other alternatives to this, because with him holding 80% and him being an 80% shareholder, he could have made the sell of WWE without having to be a part of the creative team or anything. He could have made that decision. So there's rumors going around that whoever WWE sells to, Vince McMahon will make it a clause within their contract that would make Vince McMahon head of creative, because whoever buys WWE most likely isn't going to be a long-standing professional wrestling fan. So they aren't going to understand the industry. So they're going to have to rely on somebody to run their business. Even though they would own it, Vince McMahon would be the one running it. But I don't think that we would have to deal with that for very long, because he is like 77 years old. He's very old. So there's going to come a time where he's going to have to step aside, and we're going to have to rely on somebody else, just like we did with Triple H, to be head of creative, and like a trusty head of creative. So people are freaking out online because Vince McMahon is now back, when if you look at him owning 80% of the company, he never really left. You know, he was always there, being able to like shake his head yes to something, or, you know, tell them no to something. He still has that power being the owner, and especially having Triple H be head of creative, which is Vince McMahon's son-in-law. Yeah, of course he has like power, and of course he's going to have influence, because what do you think they talked about over Thanksgiving dinner? Probably WWE. So people are freaking out, and people are saying that this could be a terrible decision for WWE. And I am on board with that to a degree. I can see why people would be pissed. I can see why people would be concerned, especially given, like I said, the 2020 that we got, which was a really, really good year for WWE. And I think people were really looking forward to this year, and they don't want to see it spoiled. But if Vince McMahon wants to sell WWE, then Vince McMahon can sell WWE. It's just going to be something that we're all going to have to deal with. And it sucks. It really, really does, because I grew up watching WWE. You know, WWE is my childhood. So like it does like concern me a little bit that like there could be such a drastic change because of the fact that somebody else owns it and now can dictate the product. It would really, really suck to see it just completely crumble, especially given the rich history that WWE has. So let's go into the next rumor. Vince McMahon selling WWE in 2023. So I've been predicting that WWE will sell itself for years now. For people who know me outside of this podcast, they know that I've been predicting this for years, because WWE has been setting themselves up to sell for years now by getting a correct TV rights deal, so that then they can increase their value. You know, everything has always been strategically planned for this to be the end result. Now let's look at the front runners for who has the potential to buy WWE, and I will give you guys who I think WWE is going to be bought for, and it's for very, very interesting and valid reasons. Front runners. NBC Universal is a front runner. We got Comcast, Fox, Disney, Netflix, Warner Bros., Endeavor, who owns the UFC, Amazon, and Saudi Arabia. People right now are freaking out because they thought that WWE got sold to Saudi Arabia, and everybody immediately, as soon as the news came out, jumped onto their computers and started doing a podcast about, talking about it. And then WWE came out and debunked it. And then now all of these people look just stupid for just jumping on the bandwagon and not letting it sit and get all of the information. So I've actually sat back and kind of watched as this whole scenario has played out so far. And I didn't just immediately start talking about it. I wanted to know what we were looking at here before we could actually discuss it. Do I think that WWE is going to sell to Saudi Arabia? I could see it happen, but I don't think that it would obviously be a very good creative move, especially given the fact that Saudi Arabia doesn't have any kind of TV deal. And I think that there are a lot of wrestlers, there are a lot of TV producers that will not work with the Saudi Arabian government. So they would become a private company. And WWE fans, they do not want to see that. That would be the absolute worst case scenario. Now, if you do go down the list like a Netflix, or people are saying NBC Universal, Comcast, Disney, people are trying to speculate on who would actually benefit the most from buying WWE. And to me, and this is just my opinion, Amazon would be the most perfect company to buy WWE, because they're worth trillions. Not trillions, but they have trillion. They are so rich that they could give WWE anything that they wanted and it still wouldn't dent their company. You can't really say that about all of these other companies because they are not as big as Amazon. Plus, if you look at the fact that Amazon has Prime Video and they already have a staple show like Thursday Night Football with the NFL, it's very, very logical for WWE to be sold to Amazon, where then they can host it on Prime Video, because all of these other companies like a Comcast, I don't really know anybody that has Comcast a whole lot. You know, it's mostly like streaming services now. So if you look at the fact that Amazon is worth a bunch of money, they already have a media platform, and then you also look at if WWE were to sell to Amazon and have it on Prime Video, they could see an increase in Prime subscribers. And then WWE merchandise could be sold exclusively on Amazon, which would be perfect for them because that brings in a whole bunch of more revenue into the Amazon cap. And imagine Amazon being able to get all of the revenue from a WrestleMania. This company is worth so much to whoever buys it. And especially if, like I said, they already have that media platform, the sky's the limit. Because they could actually ask Vince McMahon to not be head of creative and then want Triple H to come back and actually do what he needs to do. So yes, it could be bad for WWE and it could be good. It just depends on who WWE sells to, because you know that their price tag is going to be at 15 billion upwards. So there's only certain companies that can actually pay that much money and actually be able to make it work and not just own WWE, because you can't just own WWE and expect everything to just happen because it's under the WWE banner. You know, like obviously that's not how us pro wrestling fans work. You know, we're looking for product. But man, like, see, like it's all very interesting to just like break down. And I am going to predict that WWE sells to Amazon. And we are going to see WrestleMania on Prime Video one of these years, whether it even be next year at Philadelphia. We have no idea. But thank you guys so very much for joining me, man. Again, my name is Cody Thixton. This is Interesting Podcast. If this is the kind of content you guys like, you guys love pro wrestling, you guys love podcasts, then this is the channel for you. Make sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe. Do all of that. I would really appreciate it, and I will be coming back with you guys soon with more content. I'll catch you guys later.